The Oklahoma City Thunder have accepted Lu Dort's team option. What's good, OKC Hoops? How are you guys doing today? Now, we got some big news about, Lu Dort. He accepted the team option. And as the Thunder needed to accept the team option, or he was just going to be gone and we don't get anything out of return of him if we traded him. So the Oklahoma City Thunder have accepted the team option right now, and now it's interesting because there's many scenarios where you can go with this with the Lu Dort. There's so many ways you go with this, and we could first start off with maybe Lu Dort stays. Maybe Lu Dort stays on the Oklahoma City Thunder for next season. Maybe they stay with him for next season, try to get a championship out of him, and then he's gone after that summer, and we get nothing out of him in return. We can't do a trade then. Maybe OKC, so they want the championship. They're going to try to do whatever they can to get that championship. And maybe that means by, having a guy like Lu Dort who was huge. He was huge for us. Now, last season, he did not have a good year at shooting the ball. Now, his defense has always, been good. Defensive guy. But his shooting just was not as good this season. And especially in the playoffs, he really struggled in the playoffs. And there was guys like Kasem Wallace that, he was playing better than Kasem. Kasem Wallace was playing better than them, I meant to say. Sorry about that. But, so it's interesting, what the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to do. Do they hold on to him for right now, and maybe he does good at the start of the season for Oklahoma City Thunder, and he has a bounce back year, and then you trade Lu Dort at trade deadline? Do you do that? Now, if they did that, there's one thing that I'm kind of worried about. SGA loves Lu Dort, and the thing I'm worried about is that maybe the team chemistry if you trade him off at deadline. And if the Thunder are doing really, really good, and there you go, you just traded Lu Dort at deadline. As a player standpoint, like SGA, all them guys, the chemistry might be off a little bit if you do that. Now, for the GM, Sam Presti, obviously you see that Lu Dort's value is even higher. So that deadline, you trade him off. You get stuff out of him. You get maybe picks. Presti loves his picks. And get maybe a solid role player out of him in a first rounder maybe. If that's a possibility. I don't know what Sam Presti's thinking or what he's gonna do, but I do think that that's a possibility. So who knows? Dort was a great versatile. He even got All NBA on defense and he's a great player, for a contending team. And so I don't know. And there's another scenario, obviously, that everyone's been talking about over and over and over again is Lu Dort's getting traded. That's what they're talking about all the time. And obviously, I don't know what Sam Presti's thinking, but if I had to lean towards what I think he's gonna do, I'd say that Lu Dort could be getting traded. I think he could be getting traded. And there's teams that are interested in him, like the Los Angeles Lakers. They've been heavily rumored that Lu Dort's going to go there. They're saying that Los Angeles Lakers have been calling the Thunder, about Lu Dort and stuff. Maybe to get a deal done. And I think that definitely can happen. The Brooklyn Nets can be another team. All the money they have, they could go out there and get Lu Dort. They wanted Lu Dort, a defensive guy, that wins you ball games. Maybe they go after it. I think there's contending teams that are after Lu Dort. Obviously, the Lakers, like I just said. And which team would most likely get Lu Dort is the Lakers. Um, you know, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe have been traded to the Eastern Conference, but I think Sam Presti, if he sees that the value is right, that the Lakers are going to offer, if the value is right, Presti's going to go for it. He's going to go for it and send him off to the Lakers. Even if it's a contending team, if the value is right, I think Presti still does it. And this is what I think. This is a trade that I think could definitely happen. I think Dalton Knecht could be in the trade. Because Dalton Knecht, as he has $4.2 million on the contract, and then Dalton Knecht is literally, he had a great first year on the Thunder, great first year. But during that season, the Lakers, decided to trade Knecht, try to trade him to the Hornets for Mark Williams, and that messed everything up. Because the trade didn't go through with Mark Williams, his I forgot what it's called. It didn't go through, and that sent Dalton Knecht back to the Lakers immediately. And I think that really messed up Dalton Knecht and his confidence and everything, and I just doesn't look like after that Dalton Knecht just doesn't want to be there, it seems like. And that really messed him up for that. And last season, Dalton Knecht, he didn't get to play as much anymore, and he just wasn't the same out there as he was his rookie year. And that hurt. That hurt Dalton Knecht. And where Dalton Knecht needs a new environment, he needs a new team. And I think the Oklahoma City Thunder would be awesome for Dalton Knecht. I think it's great for both ways. And that's a guy that I could definitely see getting traded. And for Lu Dort, Dalton Knecht would give you shooting out there. He's only 25 years old. Great player. Great guy. And then I don't think it's just going to be Dalton Knecht and Lu Dort straight up. I do not see that at all. Because the contracts, they have to match up with Lu Dort, $17 million. So I think Jake LaRavia would be added into it, and as he has a $6 million contract, Jake LaRavia would be into it, and he's 24 years old. He had a good NBA season last season. Not so much in the playoffs, but I think that might have been Jake LaRavia's first playoff experience, maybe. I think. Listen, I'm not for sure, but I think. And Jake LaRavia, he's a shooter. He's definitely a shooter. He's a great player too. I mean, he'd be awesome to have, especially if guys go down for the Thunder, like J-Dub. It's always good to have your full roster depth and stacked and loaded. So if you're adding in Dalton Knecht and Jake LaRavia, they can step in right away for you if they need to, and it's just good to be stacked, like I said. And then I think that they'll get one more thing out of this trade. So Dalton Knecht, Jake LaRavia, and I think it's going to be a 2033 second-round pick. Presti loves his second-rounders. With Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe, second-round picks we got. So I think a second-round pick will go in there. And I think that's a good move for both sides. I really do. So this puts, a trade like that puts the Thunder, they're not in the second apron anymore, which is awesome. They do not want to be in the second apron. I promise you that. Presti does not want to be in that. So I think that's a trade that you could do. Unless there's another team out there that has better value. That gets better value. I don't know. I just know the Lakers are really heavily linked for Lu Dort, and they might, give off a decent deal for it then, if they really want Lu Dort. And Dalton Knecht and Jake LaRavia, those are high upside players. They really are. And it's just awesome because they're just young talents, and that's what the Thunder love. The Thunder love that. Thunder love the young talent, so that's something I could see. And let's say that let's say that, like they said, hold on to Lu Dort. I should have mentioned this, but I mentioned it now, that if they hold it on to Lu Dort, like, completely throughout the season, but they want to, like, if they want to still get out of the second apron, then someone else is going to have to be gone. And, like, if they want to keep Lu Dort and they have to get out of the second apron, someone else is going to have to be gone. And I think that's a scenario where you trade off, you trade or you just let go of Thomas Sorbert and Cole Topic, as they might, I don't know if Topic is going to be in the rotation. As we just drafted Bennett Sturts, who's a guard. Awesome player. Phenomenal. And then Adai Mara, the big 7'3" center, that I don't know if Thomas Sorbert will get much in the rotation. He might get 10 minutes a game, but I don't know. Maybe the Thunder really wanted to win. You keep Lu Dort, maybe you give off the guys that aren't really playing much, the young guys, and Sorbert and Topic, and, it'll help their careers out maybe on another team, that gets playing time. So that's definitely a scenario you can go with, but comment down below. What do you think is going to happen with Lu Dort? You think he's getting traded? Is he going to stay? What do you think is going to happen? And hit the like and subscribe. I appreciate it if you like OKC Thunder. Talk about the news, all that stuff that's been going on, the rumors. And yeah, so hit the like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys if you stayed up till the end. I love all you guys. But I'll see you guys on the next one.